Welcome, everyone, to Around the ACL. Michelle Thompson here with Wally Castler and Jake Brannon. Trey and Anthony are slacking. They're in the intro video, but they're not
I was
here.
just
They
gonna
don't know
say,
what's
I feel
going
like
on.
an afterthought. We got all these
Yeah,
studs in this intro video, and then fooled you.
everybody
It's just Jake and
everybody
Wally.
gets so excited to see Trey and Anthony, and then they show our faces on the screen. It's a little different.
Wah, wah. All right. Well, we've got an awesome show here for you today. We have our open number 16 coming up this weekend, and then the conclusion of our final chase. We're going to talk all about that. And we have our top 10 shots from the final chase a couple weeks ago. And then we have our game time and some board bets. Lots of good stuff to get into. Wally, I know you're already there in Ohio. What's it like?
Yeah, so a little bit of bad weather. Had some thunderstorms and some kind of humid heat right now. Probably in the low 90s. So going to be interesting how this weekend plays itself out. We are going to be back in the dome. So controlled environment. If you guys remember last year, and Meesh, I know you remember, we had the air conditioning one tournament and then nothing the next tournament. So it was like board conditions changed day to day. It was an awesome environment. I think the players liked the way it was set up, but it's going to be interesting to see if they can keep it one temperature the entire weekend or if that's just by design or what. But it's definitely humid and sticky here. I would lean towards sticky boards this weekend.
Yeah, the AC failing was my nightmare, literally. And we're in that Hall of Fame dome thing, and it was very weird. And then, was it there that it eventually started raining and it was so loud? Was that event?
Yeah, it did rain there. I think one of the days when we kind of thought it was just an airplane or something flying overhead, but it stayed for about 15, 20 minutes. We're like, this is a long airplane.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
loud.
it gets loud in there in these domes whenever it starts raining. I don't think it's going to
That's
be anything
crazy.
like Colorado with the lights swaying and stuff like that. But I know back home in Illinois they're having really terrible weather and flooding and
Mm.
stuff like that. So keep an eye on the thunderstorms out here.
All right, should be a fun travel day for us, Jake. I know you're driving. What's that drive going to be like for
Yeah,
you?
yeah. And I wake up bright and early tomorrow morning, around 8, 9 o'clock. It's about a little under 7 hours, probably 6.5. So it won't be too bad. I've definitely made worse drives, so I'm not super worried about it. But yeah, I'm excited. Never been to Hall of Fame Village. Never been to Canton, the Canton area. So I'm really looking forward to it. It's probably one of my most anticipated events of this season.
Yeah, it's a cool spot for sure. Corey and I will be hopping on a plane tomorrow. We're leaving here at 8 a.m. But we live
I was
over an
going to
hour
ask,
from
are
the
you guys on the
airport.
same flight this time?
Yes, we're better. Okay, in the last half of the season, we finally got it together. And this was the one that we didn't need to because I don't even have to be there until Friday. And
No.
now I've gotten the same flight as Corey. I don't even need to. So it just
Sounds like
it
we
is
got
what
two
it is.
extra hands to
What
help
are you
us
gonna
set
do?
up, Jake.
All right.
Sounds like it.
No, I don't know. I think I have plans that day. I don't know about that.
Hmm.
All right, let's get into it. We're going to start off with the last open of the season. I was looking at the registration list and a lot of names I don't know, but also obviously the familiar pros and elite players there as well. Wally, who's sticking out to you?
All right, so I do want to go ahead and I'll start with doubles. I do want to give an honorable mention to Braden Wilson and Cash Chamness. I kind of thought that Jake would put them on his list, so I didn't put them on my list. But here's what I'm taking an eye out for doubles. The interesting part is right there up top. Devin Harbaugh and Ryan Wiedenfeld teaming up for this one, but Devin's got broadcasts that he needs to make, so they have to, I believe, go 3-0 in rounders to start in order to guarantee themselves to tier one. So if they don't make that, we could be looking at some tier two champions. It just all depends on how things lay out. But Devin Harbaugh and Ryan Wiedenfeld, they were both excited to tell me they were throwing with each other this weekend. So I'm just hoping it all works out to where they make open bracket and we have a blast. A team that I want to watch in the open as well as the broadcast, Alex Rawls and Derek Holland. I mean, we did the partner reveal for them, Meesh, at the beginning of the season. And it was one of these teams where I was kind of like, oh, that's neat. I want to see what they do. I was interested to see who Derek Holland would team up with after him and his son broke up. But Alex and Derek have been the surprise for me this season, just doing very well no matter what the format. I want to see if they can close it out in the broadcast. Sebastian Barger and Craig Irvin. Some of you guys might know Craig Irvin as one of the former Kings. He went through the process of basically qualifying to be an ACL pro, decided not to take the contract for his family. Sebastian Barger, a young up-and-coming player. He has a lot of talent, and he's just gotten better over this last year. So I really want to see what Sebastian and Craig look like. This could be one of the teams that, makes the circuit next year for us to keep an eye on. So keep an eye on Sebastian Barger and Craig Irvin. And then Nico Morales, I feel sorry for the guy. It seems like he's just going through partner swaps every single year. Last year, fell into some partner issues, ended up getting Devin Harbaugh to finish out the season, having some issues now. Not sure if Tyler's going to come back or not, but he's teaming up with Philip Lopez Jr. this year, and I've absolutely loved what I've seen out of Philip Lopez Jr. So the Titan guys sticking together, and then down there at the bottom, I mean, we dubbed them the best doubles team on the planet. Trey Birchfield and Adam Hissner have been kind of letting stinkers as far as the national format goes, but in the open division, I mean, I think Trey Birchfield and Adam Hissner shine, so they got to defend their turf. I saw a picture of Trey Birchfield's garage where they have like 6 or 7 mattresses propped up for all the players. So, he's going to be sleeping in his own bed. So is Adam. I expect them to be well rested and ready to go. Jake, who do you got for your
well rested?
Yeah.
Hold on a second. Well rested when you have all those people at your house.
Yeah. Well, they're in the garage. So as long as Trey is
sleep.
responsible and leaves them to do their own thing, I guess they should be fine.
They ain't getting no sleep over there.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Jake, your turn.
Yeah, let's take a look at my my doubles teams to watch. I mean, I just love these opens because you get these crazy partner swaps. I mean, look at this team number 1, Eric Davis and Ryan Trader, both players in the top 10 in singles. I mean, it's so much fun. I can already anticipate how incredible this team is going to be, and I cannot wait to watch these two do battle. Number 2, Cheyenne Bubenheim, Jacob Trzynski, a couple AAR-sponsored players. Another team that you don't really necessarily think of when you consider partner swaps or, changing it up a little bit for these opens. But yeah, Cheyenne and Jacob, I mean, both top of the game. They have no reason not to have a great run here in Canton. So I'm excited to see what they do. Moving down to number 3, this is an interesting one. Noah Almanza, Brandon Bobia, another couple of Ohio-born players. Bobia, a former pro. Almanza, obviously one of the best. They know each other very well. They play against and with each other all the time in that Ohio area. They're going to be really fun to watch too. I'm really excited to see what they can do. Number 4, a couple of local kids down here in my way, Logan Dupler and Gabe Clausen. Logan has a junior singles title to his credit already this season, and Gabe Clausen has been one of the best in the state of Virginia, if not on the entire eastern seaboard. I know, Wally, you had a chance to go to that Augusta County regional last weekend, and you saw Gabe Clausen do work with Devin Harbaugh and as well on the singles side as well. Then, at number 5, I just got to shout out my local boys, Nicholas Clow, Matt Collison. Clow, an elite player out of the state of Maryland, and then Matt Collison, one of the best advanced players in the area as well. I finally convinced them to get them to go out and travel to this open, only about 6 hours away. They're going to have some fun. I'm excited to see what they can do.
I thought it was interesting how the Cobbs split up. So you have Ryan Hart and Tyler Cobb. You got Tice Cobb and Cameron Belvin. Espen Jackson with Tubby Cobb. So interesting how the Cobb split up there. All right, Wally, what you got for singles?
Touching base real quick on a couple of his. Yeah, Gabe Clausen, he looks like he is ready for the big show. I mean, what I've seen out of him in person, he's probably top 20 potential right now, the way he's throwing. I do remember there was a screenshot of a match him and Devin Harbaugh played. I want to say it was like 40 or 50 rounds, 47 rounds or something like that, throwing over a 10.5. So Gabe Clausen has the stats, and he looks like he's backing it up as well. Hold on, one of the team wants. Yeah, Brandon Bobia. You guys might remember he was on the highlight reel back in Cincinnati last year for hitting that 4-bag airmail, and I just butchered his name the entire time. So if I can go an entire broadcast without saying Brandon Benia, I'd be very excited.
Good to have goals, Wally. It's good to have goals.
Gosh, I messed it up so bad, and everybody in the chat was roasting me. I feel so bad. All right, singles players that I want to keep an eye on here, starting right there at the top. Number 1, Ryan Hart. If you look to last year, shootout number 8, Ryan Hart dominated Devin Harbaugh. It all started here for Ryan Hart, in my opinion, in Canton, Ohio. He's been a strong player, but he shined in this building last year. I want to see if he could repeat it again this year. Number 2 on my list, Gary Ferguson, kind of keeping with that theme with Craig Irvin over on the double side. Gary Ferguson, another player who was a former King and qualified as an ACL pro, elected not to take it. Good to see him back on the sign-up sheet. I want to see what Gary Ferguson can do, and I want to see him in the ACL Pro division next year. Number 3 on my list, Espen Jackson. Last time I shouted out Espen, he performed very well. Defeated Ryan Trader twice in juniors and looked the part. Espen Jackson has been shooting very, very well. Shout out to Melvin making sure that we always stay hydrated up there at the announcer table whenever Espen plays on our court. So we're definitely going to get some Espen Jackson love. Jaden Ellis, you all know about Jaden Ellis as we look at the open standings, winding things down. Jaden Ellis has something to play for here as the amateur player of the year is up for grabs. Jaden Ellis needs to have a strong finish. He's already got 1 open win, and I want to see if he could repeat it here with the last open in Canton, Ohio. And then number 5, Levi Haddock out of Texas. I was there at Bryan, Texas whenever he had a strong run, but I didn't really get a chance to look at him in person. So Levi Haddock has had some strong showings in the ACL. I really want to take a closer look at him here in Canton and see what his throw actually looks like, what caliber player he is, or if he just had a good run. I know a lot of the Texas players speak highly of him, so I want to see it here in person.
All right, Jake, what do you think?
Yeah, I got the best of both worlds. I got a couple of really strong pros, and I got a couple of amateurs who want nothing more than to beat these top caliber pros. We got to start it off with Zach Scheibner. He had a fantastic run in shootout singles in Valley Forge a couple of weekends ago. Took Eric Davis to the limit in that bracket final. I think he can do it again. Final tournament before the World Championships. I want to see Zach Scheibner back it up with another good open singles run. Number 2, you talked about him earlier on the double side, Sebastian Barger. I don't know a lot about him, but I have seen quite a bit on social media of what he can do. You got a lot of people in his corner backing him up, proving that he can compete with the best the ACL has to offer. I'm really looking forward to seeing what he can do on the singles side. Number 3, I mentioned it a little bit earlier, but Gabriel Clausen, got to give him double duty in doubles and singles. I mean, just being able to watch this kid play, it is incredible how fast he has gotten so good throwing those cornhole coastal bags. I cannot wait to see what he does, and I think he's going to upset a lot of people on Sunday. Number 4, this is another, I would put him in the middle-tiered caliber of the ACL Pro single standings, who is on the verge of coming up. I just think he needs a breakthrough win or couple of wins in Evan Vanos, and I think that this Canton, Ohio Open is the perfect place to do it. I like to see Evan have a really strong run here and then an even stronger run at the World Championships in a couple of weeks. And then finally, number 5, Zach Smith. I've heard a lot about him through the grapevines out of the state of West Virginia. You got Logan Hall out there, who's one of his best buddies. That's all I see him ever post about is how good this Zach Smith dude is. I heard he's going to be competing in the pro qualifier, and I'm going to put some money on him to make a really big run. And I'd like to see him make a run in Ohio, not super far from him either. So it's kind of like playing in his backyard. So look out for Zach Smith this weekend as well.
All right, so we also have our rankings now going into Canton, Ohio. We're going to start off with singles. We've got Jeremiah Ellis in first, then Ryan Trader, Eric Davis, Adam Hisner, Braden Wilson, Jacob Trzynski, Logan Chamberlain, Trey Birchfield, Gavin Cano, and at number 10, Alex Rawls. No Jamie Graham. I don't know who else you guys say. Who's the nose that you're like, no?
What I was going to talk about is that, I couldn't find my list. I got it at home on my big PC, my gaming PC, but I know that I had Mark Richards at number 1. He's not even here on the top 10 list. So some of the names that I had in my top 10, they're not even there. You talked about Jamie Graham not being there. Matt Guy, I put him in there for the first time. So Matt Guy is not in this top list either. The surprises for me is just how many rookies we have in there. We talked about or you guys talked about the rookie class from a few years ago and exactly how many rookies made it into the top 10. But the fact that they're leading the way and Jeremiah Ellis and Ryan Trader just being so close, and I'll talk about them a little bit later on as well, it's kind of almost in a way been a letdown for the entire pro season because it's been all Ellis and Trader up front. And then on the back end, we finally have a little bit of a mix up here, but Eric Davis is someone who's earned that spot. Meesh is always ecstatic to talk about Eric Davis, and I'm excited that him and Ryan Trader are teaming up. Jake, so good job putting them on your list there. But Eric Davis has been one of these players for me that everyone's like, oh, I love watching Eric Davis play because of the shots that he can make. And I'm like, I hate watching Eric Davis play because he puts himself in these situations to begin with. Like if he would just run bags and put them in the hole and then have these shots to escape rounds or, maximize points when he needs to, he's going to be someone that I wouldn't mind watching. And so far this season, he is doing exactly that. I did not expect Adam Hissner anywhere near my top 10. I don't even know if I put him in my top 40. So what we're getting out of Adam Hissner right now is very, very impressive. I was really worried about him and Cody breaking up. It kind of felt like, well, how much longer are they going to stick around in the pro division? And Adam Hissner's like, I'm not going to stick around. I'm going to be at the top of it. Braden Wilson and Jake Trzynski have been two of the hottest players these last two opens. We started off with Ryan Trader and Jeremiah Ellis, and now I feel like we're switching over to Braden Wilson and Jake Trzynski. So this next broadcast is going to be very fun. One of the biggest people that fell in this list was Gavin Cano, falling all the way down to 8 right there at 1578, tied with Trey Birchfield. And I believe Alex Rawls with another strong finish. He has a possibility to move all the way up in the top 5, if I'm not mistaken, Meesh, with the points. But yeah, Gavin Cano, he was right there with him. I believe Jake at the beginning of the season said it's Jeremiah Ellis, Adam Hissner, and Gavin Cano, and nobody else is close. So I want to see Gavin Cano have a strong finish down the stretch at Worlds. But yeah, interesting top 10 that we got here.
Definitely. I didn't even say Mark Richards. He's been so off the radar for me in singles, but I know I had him at number 1. And I know Anthony had Caleb Batson at number 1.
Yeah, that's the other one too.
Mm-hmm. And I'm sure Fisher Hamilton was on someone's. So definitely some interesting rankings there. Jake, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, you took the words right out of my mouth. My number 1 coming into the season was Mark Richards, and he has fallen flat, I think, in across the board on everybody's perspective. Obviously, he's had a good run of success with Tony Smith on the double side, but we've barely been saying his name on the single side, which is, after the first couple of years he's had, is just unfathomable. And then Caleb Batson was my number 2. I think that almost maybe even a more surprising and bigger drop-off. I mean, every single time we had a big tournament last season, all we were talking about was Caleb Batson winning and having these incredibly high PPRs and these incredible games like against Jacob Gore, Jacob Trzynski. I mean, he was on fire. And then obviously back-to-back national doubles titles with Eddie Grindersleeve as well, including a world championship. So I was really surprised to see Caleb Batson nowhere near the top 10. I mean, moving down my list, I had Ryan Trader at 3, Alex Rawls at 4, right around pretty similar as well. You're in the top 5, and I had Justin Burton Jr. in my top 10. And he hasn't been doing super well this season. Kind of been overshadowed by pro partner Logan Chamberlain, who came out of the woodworks. I mean, everybody said at the start of the season that kind of questioning whether Logan Chamberlain had what it takes in singles. We knew he was a good doubles player, but we never really got that singles finishes, and he has proven that he belongs in the top 10 this season with a string of really good finishes. Obviously, you mentioned Braden Wilson, Jacob Trzynski in the top 10. Neither of these two were on my list. I was a little worried coming into the season about Braden Wilson being the youngest rookie, being able to compete with the big dogs on the big stage, and he has proven me wrong beyond a shadow of a doubt. He has been on fire, and I'm so happy to watch him play, dude. He's one of the greatest kids in the sport. Love to see it. I mean, I had Jeremiah Ellis at my number 7. It was kind of hard because you didn't really know what you were getting out of the Jeremiah Ellises and the Ryan Traders. You knew they were going to be good just because of prior success, but did they have what it takes to dominate the pro division? And obviously we know now they do, sitting at 1 and 2. it's going to be tough to beat either of those two. I mean, I had Jamie Graham in my top 10. I had Tony Smith in my top 10. But yeah, just a couple shakeups, man. I love seeing Trzynski and Chamberlain up here. I love seeing Birchfield up here. I think Gavin Conner is going to have a really strong world championship run. But I mean, overall, the top 10 singles is a dogfight. And I cannot wait for the world championships to see how it all plays out.
In doubles, we have Tony Smith and Mark Richards at number 1 with quite a lead there in points. Ryan Hart, Jeremiah Ellis in second. Alex Rawls, Derek Holland. Kyle Malone, Devin Harbaugh. Justin Burton Jr., Logan Chamberlain. Braden Wilson, AJ Sims. Tanner Halbert and Jacob Trzynski. Fisher Hamilton and Gavin Cano. Matt Sorrells and Eric Davis. And Frank Maudlin and Jamie Graham. And I don't think many people had Maudlin Graham in their top 10. At least maybe I'm just saying that because I'm so influenced by Anthony Ione, who was not happy. But Jake, you didn't either? Or you did have him?
I did. I had him.
Wally, did you? Do you remember?
I actually have our list, Meesh. I have our doubles list. I don't have our singles list.
Okay.
So let's see. I don't see
I can't remember.
Graham and Maudlin. You have them at 14 on your list.
Okay.
So you're not too far off there. I had them at 16. You did have Mark and Tony at number 1. Your number 2 was Eddie and KB. Your 3 was Hamilton Cano. Then you have Soto, Gore, Chamberlain, Burton Jr., Harbaugh, Malone, Ellis Hart, Gore, Thorne, Power, Neested. That's one that we all were kind of looking at. Then you had Guy, Rawls, Holland. I had Cano, Hamilton, Richard Smith, Harbaugh, Malone, KB and Eddie, Chamberlain, Burton Jr., Smith, Wiedenfeld, Ryan Walker, Soto, Gore, Ellis Hart, and Power Neested is my top 10. So we off a little bit, not too terrible.
Yeah,
though.
Not terrible, I will say. We definitely had some ones that really actually performed the way we thought that they would. Who'd you say your number 1 was?
My number 1 was Cano Hamilton. They've been kind of underperforming this year.
Yeah. Okay, but they're still in there.
Yeah.
Interesting.
We both had Trzynski and Halbert at 17, so we were under on that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're just off a little bit. I'm trying to think of who else we had up there that's really not performing very well. I mean, I guess Ryan Walker's a dud for me. That's not going to happen.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting.
Versatile history you had at 12. Let me see.
All right.
I had him at 15. Okay, I didn't think I had him that high up. But yeah, interesting. You had Davis and Sorrells in your top 20. Actually, you forgot to even put them on your list, but you only gave me 24 names, so I threw them in for you at 25. So there you go. You're welcome.
That's right. I forgot about that. Well, I knew. It was just seeing if you were paying attention. That's all.
Yeah, you had Sims and Wilson at 22. I didn't even have them on my list, so I think if we had to put these side by side, I would say that Meesh is beating me as far as top 25 doubles prediction goes. But I mean, let's kind of talk about these teams a little bit. Braden Wilson has came on and been America's hype boy. We are all excited to watch it. I don't even care about the first 10, 15, 20 points of the game. I care about Braden Wilson's first shot. Whenever that big shot is that he hits, it's over. If you're an opponent and you can get Braden Wilson to play with just an open board, you have a chance to beat him. But if you give him a backside airmail drag or something like that to score 2 points, it is all downhill for you guys after that. Tanner Halbert, I'm with you, Jake. I didn't know he threw a back-to-back perfect games to make broadcasts. That is impressive, to say the least. And Jake Trzynski was the most dominant player coming out of Valley Forge. The only player hotter than Jake Trzynski was me at the craps table teaching everybody how to play craps. Other than that, Jake Trzynski was a man on a mission. He was a beast. Frank Maudlin, Jamie Graham, I just want to apologize. I didn't see it coming out of you guys. I was right in one thing, though. You guys take way too much time. Please speed it up. I fall asleep sometimes watching matches to play. But as far as game goes, these new all cornhole Phoenix bags that they're throwing, they're doing pretty well with them. Jimmy Graham's on a whole nother level with them. But Frank Maudlin did a great job of adjusting to it. It's kind of sneaky with Kyle and Devin being at number 4. Do you guys get the impression that they're a number 14 right now?
I was surprised, but they have made a broadcast, and now here they are on another broadcast. So I guess it makes sense. But no, that was surprising to me.
Yeah.
I think it's one of those things where like, because they dropped their worst performance. I guess their worst performance was so bad that we just kind of wrote them off. Like we stopped paying attention to them, and then we realized once they dropped that they're like, oh man, I guess they have had a pretty good season because they've had 3 decent finishes.
Yeah, maybe they had a bad showing in West Palm Beach. I can't remember exactly way back when the season started 2-3 months ago. But yeah, Tony Smith and Mark Richards, we all kind of expected them to be at the top. It's baffling to me how good they are in doubles, but we're still not getting enough out of them in singles. So I don't know what's going on there, but as far as doubles goes, I mean, they are living up to the super team hype.
That they are. Jake, anything to add before we move on to our top 10 shots?
Yeah, for sure. Real quick, I found my top 10 list, and I'm actually kind of proud of it. I had the super team of Tony and Mark at 1, correct. I had the other super team of Devin Harbaugh, Kyle Malone at 2. I'm only 2 spots off of there, but I mean, it's hard to believe I had Graham and Modlin in my 3. I went out on a little bit of a limb, and they've proven me right as well in that top 10. I did have Canton and Hamilton at the 4, disappointed with their performances so far. I had KB and Eddie at my 5. I mean, it's hard not to put them in your top 5 when they win 3 consecutive national tournaments. So you had to put them in there. I mean, I had Birchfield and Hissner at my 6. And they may not be in the top 10, but when you consider all the open wins they have this season, they've had a really strong season. I had Eric Davis and Matthew Sorrells at my 7. That was like kind of my confusing team. It was my high ceiling, low floor teams. I thought they were either going to do really well or you were never going to hear from them. And it's kind of gotten a mixture of both. JBJ and Logan Chamberlain at my 8. I mean, they had success. I expected, a couple better finishes from them, but they're sitting at a 5. Not bad at all. I did have Sammy Soto, Jackson Gore in there as well. I did have Walker and Ryan in there as well. Obviously, that's gone now. And then I had Smith and Wiedenfeld closing it out. I mean, it's so hard to predict doubles, but I feel like I did a pretty decent job. And, going off of what you said, I love watching Braden Wilson and AJ Sims. Unless you're rooting for the team that they are playing against, it is impossible to root against them. They are, like you said, the ACL's biggest hype team. And if, I would put them on the cover of everything. I mean, their smiles light up rooms, their positive affirmations they give towards each other just, makes it so enjoyable to watch. And I absolutely love listening to them talk while they play. I love Tanner and Jacob. It was another one of those question mark teams coming into the season after Tanner Halbert and Eric Zockline split up, as well as Trzynski and Tony Smith. Obviously, both of them bounced right back on their feet, and they are a top 10 team as well. So, I mean, it's another thing coming down to the wire. This Pro Doubles World Championship brackets are going to be really, really fun, and it's just a few weeks away, right around the corner. Let's get it on.
That's right. I like how they're calling AJ and Braden Robin Big. I love that for them.
I was gonna say, you don't even need to take out that much of the cover to put their picture on there.
No, that's right.
There's a height joke finally not directed at Jake.
Yeah, there you go. It's directed at 2 of the nicest people, but that's okay.
Love them both.
All right, let's get into our top 10 shots. Wally, you ready? Take it away.
Yeah, so Corey and I are having a problem now with these tournaments as they are way too many great shots. So instead of doing top 10 shots, I told him, let's just do 10 people and go from there and see what we got. So we're going to start things off at number 10 with the ladies division. Katie Matthews, she's had some strong performances so far this year. She's going up against Daniela Luna here. Hits the double clip in the front, the 2 red zone. Great excitement at the end. Daniela Luna showing her some fist right there. But then coming up against Kaylee Hunter with a boom and 1. And now Kaylee's just kind of like, did she just do that to me?
Yeah, getting to watch Katie Matthews a few times last weekend. I mean, she hit great shot after great shot, and the fist bump at the end after their first one is really what sealed it for me. I was like, okay, I'll hop on the Katie Matthews hype train. Let's go.
Well, you know my feelings about Katie Matthews. I adore her. She's one of my clients and my favorite human.
Yeah, she is slacking on the hugs, though, Katie. I haven't gotten a hug from you in a while. We used to do it every tournament. I miss you. I'll see you at the next one. All right, number 9 on our list. These are becoming quite the regular. So if you hit one of these and you don't make the top 10, the reason is your reaction isn't good enough or your opponent's reaction. Fisher just waving bye-bye to his bag. He knew it was coming. Lewis sends him right off the back.
I can't believe that was number 9. Are you serious? I mean, he called it before he hit the shot. And Fisher had another bag on the left side of the hole. He didn't even touch it. And he bar soaked that bag. That was ridiculous. I was able to call that match, and it was insane watching it unfold.
I'm telling you, it's getting too tough to pick 10 now. Number 8 here, Ryan Hart. This is a pile. It's hard to see from this camera angle. Corey's got the side shot there. This is a hard roll with the game pretty much in hand for the opponent. Ryan Hart hits a huge clutch backside roll there.
I feel like not enough people are talking about how good Ryan Hart's roll is. I think truly he has a top 5 roll in the pro division, and nobody thinks of him when people think about the best
Trey
roller.
Ryder.
Besides Trey.
Yeah, all he does is talk about his roll. Number 1 roll. That's right. You got it.
All right, this has gone on long enough. We've been way too long to the highlights without a Ryan Trader clip. Let's bring on Ryan Trader. Give him a little and one right there. You know what? We're not done. Let's go ahead and get a bar of soap here with Kyle Malone. This one I didn't see coming. There wasn't much gap there. Only half a hole. He still got the bar of soap.
I mean, you can't have a top 10 shot. At least 2 Ryan Trader highlights. I'm glad we were able to package them into one to give more people a shot because you knew he was going to have one. But, man, he's just so ridiculous, dude. It's insane.
Yep, we're at number 6 here. Jeremiah Ellis at the beginning of the season was begging for some clips. This one lands on top of the pile. Huge reaction like that. I'm telling you guys, Ian Cripps blocks this perfectly. Covers right on top. The only problem is you can't block Jeremiah Ellis. Still able to collect everything for a 4-bagger.
Yeah, that second shot was, I think, more impressive because we were watching that live, and I don't even think we considered that an option. Just going slick side right at it, and then for him to leave Ian's bag on that right side, just unfathomable.
Yep, the exact opposite of excitement whenever you hit a great shot is Tony Smith. Tony Smith up here just hitting another coin slot 2.0, making it happen.
Yeah, I was in the background when he hit this, and I was like, because I couldn't see over the pile to the guy on my left. I said, "Did that go in?" Because I just saw it disappear. I was like, "That went in?" I was like, "Holy cow!" It was pretty sick.
He said, "There's part of the hole open. I get it."
Yeah, there's enough. I'll try it. All right, number 4 on the list, Jake Trzynski. We talked about it. No hole, no problem. There's not much room there. He was able to hit, I want to say, and Jake was with me from the very beginning, Trzynski was the first one there. And I want to say Trzynski was hitting 85 to 90% of his airmails this weekend.
Yeah, I was going to say right around the 90 to 93%. I think I could count on my one hand how many he missed. And I would need, 4 hands, 5 hands in my toes to count how many he made. It was nuts. I've never seen anything like it.
Locked in.
Crazy.
Number 3, this one is a huge shot by Adam Hissner in the right moment. Chris Roybal. You always got to tip your cap down. Lands on the pile. The audio is what sells it for me. Jeremiah Ellis there in the background. Woo, yeah, excited. And Hissner does Hissner things. Just a short airmail.
Dude, I love the Adam Hissner, Jeremiah Ellis interactions. I mean, how does he no sell that? That was an incredible shot. Landing short, rodeoing, 2 bags into the hole. I would be screaming if I hit a shot like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you question why Lewis was so far down. Shots like this. Devin Harbaugh, they called it a walk-off. It wasn't exactly a walk-off, but that's a huge shot. I was worried for a second he was going to leave Shelby hanging there in the background after hitting it, but he knows his priorities, gives her the dap. A big shot there by Harbaugh to punch his ticket.
Yeah, I remember watching that, and I was like, okay, it was a great shot. Don't get me wrong. It was cool. And then I looked at I did the math, and I was like, oh crap, Alex has to go get that bag. And it wasn't that much, but when Harbaugh went for that push, he kind of pushed Rawls' bag out of the way and made that collect that much more difficult, and he ended up missing it. And Harbaugh didn't need to throw his 4th bag, but that was an incredible shot.
All right, so it's very, very disappointing number 1 here. It's going to be all Eric Davis. It's not disappointing because he's hitting nasty shots. It's disappointing because for some reason he's still not happy with them.
That's Eric.
I've never seen him.
Look at these things. Look at it. I did everything didn't fall. What is going on? And this one is just absolutely sick. Put this one right up there with shot of the year contention. A collect double bar of soap. Oh my gosh.
I just,
All right, Aaron.
it's insane. I've never seen him smile after hitting a good shot. I don't understand why.
When he does it, he yells, finally.
Yeah. If I'll tell you right now, if I had hit that double bar of soap, I can guarantee you every single person in that building would have known what I just did. There's no way. That's insane. I would have done it. And I would have landed it too. That's how much adrenaline I would have had after hitting that.
Well, I can't wait to see that. All right. We've got our game time. We're going to start with 4-bagger and floor bagger. So, Wally, did you end up doing for this?
You cut out there, but yes, I did do it. I assume she's going to ask me to start with a 4-bagger.
For the week, what'd you choose?
Oh, there we go. I did it for the week. So my top 4-bagger is the hospitality for the Cornhole family. Starting things off with Allison and James going out there for their picnic. It was cool just to have them have me out as a host, but then seeing Matthew Stout and BJ Turner make the trip to come out there and hang out and, roll some dice and play some games and just hang out there at their house is pretty cool. Stayed at Jeremiah Ellis's house yesterday, and then definitely ending on a high note here with Chad and Donna Stickle. Tipping my cap to them. It's a fancy house, making me look forward to retirement. That's all I got to say. The towel, I'm not sure if I'm supposed to touch it. It's so nice and so soft. It's probably decoration, but either way, I dried off with it, and I'm ecstatic to be here. So thank you to these guys.
So I don't know about this towel. All right, Jake, 4-bagger.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I think I'm almost positive this is my first time ever playing 4-bagger, so I wasn't 100% sure. Like, am I supposed to talk about like my life or about cornhole? So, since I'm here on location, I will talk about the summer camp that I'm at. I am volunteering at a summer camp this week. So my 4-bagger is being able to come down here and volunteer. And I tell everybody, all of my friends, all of my family, there is only one singular thing that I care about as much as cornhole, and that is the summer camp I work out. Shout out West River, South Anne Arundel County in Maryland. I absolutely love it. Right on the water. It is absolutely beautiful. The kids are amazing, and I love coming here every year. So shout out to them. That's my 4-bagger for the week.
All right. Floor bagger, Wally.
Driving all over to these places that I just talked about. I have to figure out a way to get the trusses and the overhead camera situation without having to drive. I actually packed a canopy since the tournament we're at tomorrow is outdoors, so that takes up a lot of space. I brought my chair because I wanted to be comfortable, but yeah, I have no room for anything in the Tahoe, and my back is definitely in shambles after, I want to say, 18 hours of driving so far, and we're not done yet.
Oh, sorry, guys. My internet today. All right. Jake, what's your 4-bagger?
I was like, am I just going to go? Is that the stop?
We got
my
this.
4-bagger.
Take the rest of the show off.
Yeah, no, we got no. My 4-bagger is also about camp. The only negative that I have to say about this camp is that it has been over 100 degrees every single day, and we have been outside the entire time. This is one of the very few hours I actually get inside to do the show, and I'm very thankful. But while I do love it, I am very hot and sweaty in about 25 minutes after being outside. So it's only negative I got.
My nightmare. Send it or board it, Wally.
All right, send it or board it for me. Would you? All right, I always do this. I'm still messing it up, Meesh. Sorry. Send it or board it. Watching the World Championships at the venue compared to a watch party. So watching the championships in person.
Well, I don't have a choice.
Yeah, I think I really do. I mean, it depends. I think it depends. If I'm going to a watch party, is it like something like a local? Is it a local player that we're going to watch?
All-inclusive local bar or something. I'm sending it in person. I'm watching it in person.
Yeah, I think I'd choose in person unless there was like a really, really close local friend who was like made it onto TV for the first time ever, and we got like 50 of our best friends who play cornhole at a bar watching together. That'd be the only way I wouldn't send it.
That makes sense. All right, you have a send it or board it, Jake?
Yeah. And again, never played this game either, so I kind of just went with my gut. It's not about cornhole. I had the opportunity on Saturday to go to a Savannah Bananas game. and it was really cool. But I've learned along the way that it's kind of controversial, and some people don't enjoy them. So I guess my standard to board it would be going to a Savannah Bananas game. You got a lot of
I'm
people
all
who,
in. Music,
that's what I'm
dancing?
saying.
Are you kidding me? I
Right,
am
that's what
all
I'm saying.
in.
Like you got a lot of people who are grumpy and like it ruins the integrity of baseball. There's no dancing and twerking in baseball. And I say, what? You gotta go in with the mindset that you're going to watch a show with a little bit of baseball included.
Look here,
It was one of
George.
the
Take your score pad
yeah.
and go home. This ain't for you.
Yeah. You ain't got to see trying to score the game. No, it was a really really cool experience at Nationals Park. 42,000. It was sold out. The biggest crowd for a Savannah Bananas game ever, and it was awesome. It was awesome. I think we lost her again.
You lost her
Oh
again.
God,
All
yeah,
right.
sorry. Would you
All right,
rather?
would you rather? Oh, there she is. All right, would you rather, Jake? Go ahead and do your would you rather. Oh wait, I got an honorable mention for the floor bagger as well. Assassination attempts and terrible national anthems for the floor bagger. Forgot to mention those. So I feel bad for that girl, but it was
That
it was
poor
rough.
girl. Oh my
Oh my
goodness.
gosh.
Yeah.
Oh my
All
gosh.
right, so would you rather? My would you rather is: would you rather see legends like Matt Guy, Jamie Graham, Trey Birchfield, Mark Richards, people who are at the top of the title race, square off head to head for your singles championship, or do you want to see some new blood? Would you rather watch Jeremiah Ellis or Ryan Trader in the finals?
That's tough.
I mean, I think the rivalry's gotten so big. I don't know. I think I'd rather see Jeremiah and Ryan.
Yeah. They're only 10 points apart.
Yeah. I think I'd rather
I'm right there with you guys. It's crazy. Who cares about the title race?
Yeah.
Jake, how about you?
All right. Last little bit about camp because they affected this. I was doing the research for all this in our common room where all our campers were, and they looked over my shoulder and realized that I was writing this out. So I had to explain everything I was doing, and then I explained to them that I was doing a would you rather, and they begged to write the would you rather for me. So this is coming from all of my campers who are in middle school. Would you rather swim with sharks or swim with an alligator?
Ooh. Sharks, because I don't think sharks actually do want to eat us, and I think alligators do.
See, I don't know.
I could be wrong.
I think I'd go with the alligator.
Yeah, I'm gonna say sharks because at least I see land. I can get to land, and I know I'm safe from a shark. Alligators still can catch me on land.
They're gonna follow you.
I guess it's my toxic masculinity that thinks that I can outswim an alligator. They look so slow. I think I could outswim one.
Bro, your serpentine ain't gonna work against an alligator. Alligators are serpentine kings, bro.
I don't know. That's why I don't know.
Oh man, I'd
Only
love
one way
to
to find
see
out. Only one way to find out.
Let's do it.
Well, hey Wally, I'm gonna let you drive the board bets so that I don't keep cutting in and out.
Oh, okay. All right, let me pull it up here. So board bets we have. Do you want me to just go through one at a time?
Yeah, just quickly talk about each one. Yeah.
All right, so board bets national singles. We got Trzynski at plus 225, Harbaugh plus 235, Davis plus 290, Hissner plus 390. If I'm going to take a look at that one, what I saw out of Trzynski, I think it was too dominant, too long of a time frame in between. We saw him struggle with a 2-hour break. He's got a 2-week break now. I'm going to actually take Harbaugh at plus 235 here.
Yeah, I was going to do the same thing. I mean, if you watched around the ACL last week, you saw me go to bat against Trey for Devin Harbaugh, and I got to stick with him. I really like what I see out of him right now. I would take Harbaugh plus 235 all day, but I don't hate Eric Davis plus 290.
Right?
He's so sneaky good. I can't tell if he's going to lose 21-0 or beat everyone 21-0.
I was going to say shootout singles. I'm there all day. So let's go ahead and go shootout singles next. Davis at plus 200, Trzynski at plus 210, Rawls plus 265, and Beach at plus 650. Tip of the cap to Kenzie Beach for his performance in Valley Forge, but I like Rawls here. I've said it time and time again. Rawls has the best speed control, one of the best blockers in the game. I'm taking Rawls plus 265.
I mean, just because of the value, I think I'm going to go Kenzie Beach plus 650. The disrespect to Kenzie Beach. Are you serious?
He was ranked
It's
205 coming into the
It
weekend.
doesn't matter. It's a 10-round game. Anything can happen. We've beaten pros in 10 rounds. I'll take Kenzie Beach plus that line all day of the week.
That
That's
we did
crazy.
not include me, Jake. Maybe you and Wally.
We already know where Meesh is going. Meesh, you taking the plus 200 for Davis?
Yeah, I mean, I think the plus 290 for Davis is good. And I'm surprised you guys didn't talk about Hisner. It's hometown. No home field advantage up there.
I mean, Hisner's done very, very well on the broadcast.
Yeah.
I just feel like what I've seen out of Harbaugh lately is a different Harbaugh. So I got a chance to watch him this last weekend. He wants it really bad. He said he's working with you, and he's got himself in the right mindset going this weekend. So I'm giving all the faith to you, Meesh. You get somebody in the right shape every time it works out. All right, national doubles. We're looking at Malone, Harbaugh plus 120, Scheibner, Landis plus 220, and then Rawls, Kingsbury at plus 240. So the heavy favorite here for Malone and Harbaugh. I like my guys there at the bottom. I'm going with Kingsbury, Rawls plus 240. I think I've seen enough out of them to be convinced. Shibby and Landis very, very well. They got a little nervous game one. So that kind of makes me worry a little bit as far as broadcast lights go. But Kingsbury, Rawls, they've been there before. I'm taking them plus 240.
Yeah, this one was a big toss-up for me. I feel like I could see myself picking either of these three. But I think in the end, I think I'm going to go with Scheibner and Landis. You mentioned they were a little nervous, yes. But, over on the broadcast court, they both have a lot of experience on this broadcast court. I think they're finally going to get over that hump. Give me Scheibner and Landis plus 220. I like it.
All right. You guys got hot takes?
Yeah, so quick hot take. I don't even know if it's out yet. We got the message a little bit ago on our Slack channel. I'm going to say hot take for me is Juwan Smith takes down the Super Hole.
I like it.
Okay.
Shout out Juwan Smith. He's my dog. I mean, I guess I'll go this way for a hot take because apparently DraftKings thinks it's the hottest take of the season. Give me Kenzie Beach to win shootout singles. Let's go.
You want that? You should. Oh, we can't bet. Someone make that bet for Jake so he can feel good about himself that he gave good advice.
Come on.
Let's be good. All right. I got Braden Wilson and Cash Chamness. They're going to have some big upset. They're going to get a big win that nobody saw coming. They're going to beat an all-pro team. I don't know who it is, but it's going to happen. They're going to be like, what did I just witness?
I feel like
all season long. Don't mix it up now, Meesh.
I feel like they're both so good, though. I don't really think I can name a team that would be like a huge upset. Like I could see them winning their bracket
before, and they're that good.
Yeah, and it's in the same exact building too. All right. Oh, she's back. Okay, you can close this out, Meesh?
Oh my goodness, this has been a night.
We were
supposed to record yesterday, Wally. We were supposed to record yesterday. This would never have happened. Jake would have had a voice.
Yeah, my voice wouldn't have been shot.
Yeah, this is all Wally's fault. All right, but while I'm here, all right, we'll see you guys next time.
What are you talking about?
We've had so much fun. We'll see you guys in Canton, and thanks for tuning in to us this week.